fan of Mouse Madness. I can't do the voice.
All right.
Okay.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
Let's do this for real.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mouse Madness. I'm your host, Irish Husky, and I'm joined here by my usual posse. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Emperor's New Groove memes.
All right, let's go down the list and introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Carrick, RaccoonBroVA Namnet, and I will be one of your hosts for this evening, who is, quite frankly, dumbfounded by everything.
Oh, yeah.
Ouija. Ouija, you there? Oh my gosh, she turned into Donald Duck. I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling
Anyways,
me.
hello, I am RaccoonBroVA, and I am an impressionist.
Yeah, neat.
And I have made it my goal to do a unique intro for every single podcast so far. And so far, I haven't kept track of whether I succeeded or not. So viewers, do not let me know, so I can fail on my own.
Ah, crap, we're echoing again.
Quick, Jackson, out and back again.
Oh,
Anyway, I am Wesley, and you've never had a friend like me. That might have been better if another film had advanced, but I still wanted to use that catchphrase.
Okay.
hello. Hello, I'm YodaJats10. I'm an animation enthusiast. I'm also a writer and reviewer of animation. I'm also a voice impressionist. I do the Lights of Roz from Monsters, Inc. And I also do Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, yeah, neat.
And I'm Nicholas, and by the time this goes up, the World Series will be over. Let's hope for a Rays win. All right. With introductions out of the way, let's get down to business.
Another reference that would have been more timely.
The Huns.
To defeat the memes, more
All
like
right.
it.
Okay, so. All right. This is it. The finals. The last debate of Mouse Madness. 58 films entered, and 2 are left. We've got The Emperor's New Groove from Class A, the 9 seed, against the 1 seed from Class D, the Lion King.
Oh my god! Could anyone have foreseen Emperor's New Groove making the final? I mean,
No, but I am not
Lion
opposed to it.
King. I had Lion King, but Emperor's New Groove.
I think when Emperor's New Groove beat Beauty and the Beast, at that point, just anything was possible.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Boom, baby.
Like, Chicken Little could have defeated Aladdin for all I care.
Well, I mean,
Cluck
Chicken Little was
deserves
already
best
out at that
parent.
point.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Getting our times mixed up. That's what this movie has done. It's created a rift in the space-time continuum.
Right.
And now we're just trying to endlessly floating in space and trying to get this podcast finished.
All right. Right. So let's get to that. Once again, I'm going to go through both films' journey to this point. So starting with The Emperor's New Groove, in round 1, it defeated the number 8 seed Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, 15-0. As I always say, that was basically just a gimme round, because who the hell cares about Ichabod and Mr. Toad?
I do.
I liked that movie as a kid.
Yeah, you might care about Ichabod at least, but not enough to vote for it over Cusco.
Yeah,
I actually like Mr. Toad.
Well,
Mr. Toad's the original Crazy Frog.
Well, in any case, round 2 was its first true test when it went up against the number 1 seed Beauty and the Beast. and it won its matchup 20 votes to 10.
Holy
The upset that basically changed the course of this entire tournament.
Oh, lordy!
I wonder if people voted for it because of A, my insightful commentary, or B, the more likely one, the internet.
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
All right, in the Sweet 16 round, it defeated the number 4 seed Moana 13 votes to 5. In the Elite 8 round, it had its first true competitor with the number 7 seed Mulan. This went to a 10-10 tiebreaker. I won't spoil which one won, but if you don't know by now, then you clearly haven't been paying attention, so what gives?
Well, we said it at the beginning, so yeah.
Yeah, and if you still don't know, then all hope is lost for you.
And you should probably watch another podcast.
Yeah. Well, anyway, in the Final Four round, it went up against the 1 seed from Class B, Fantasia. I thought this was going to be another case like with Mulan, where the outcome was going to be pretty close. That was not at all the case. 18-7. So Mulan was the only one that even had a chance of beating this movie up until this point.
Yeah, Emperor's New Groove won by at least a 2-1 margin for every round except the Elite 8.
Exactly.
If only Fantasia had a live-action adaptation.
Yeah.
But it did, in the form of The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and possibly the Nutcracker into 4 realms.
Right, it's getting another in Bald Mountain.
We're still waiting on that, Disney. I want my live-action Chernobog.
That actually does sound pretty metal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be played by Adam Sandler.
Get Iron Maiden to do the soundtrack and have Chernobog played by their mascot Eddie.
Oh,
No, wait, Danny DeVito as Chernobog.
Yes. Okay.
yeah, but sorry.
I am the black god of Bald
I'm the leader of this mountain. What's up? I'm gonna burn your village alive or whatever.
Do you want an egg in exchange for you giving me your soul?
This is a very trying time.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
Whoops! I dropped my monster spirit for my Magnum Mountain.
Oh God! Always Sunny is a classic.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, forever.
Man, cheetah.
So the Emperor's New Groove, I don't think anyone could have seen it making it this far. Lion King, I think we all expected it to at least make the Final Four. I know I had this in my Final 2. I think I had this one winning the whole thing. So,
Yes.
Lion King's journey.
Though.
As the 1 seed, it got a bye from round 1. In round 2, it faced a formidable opponent in the number 8 seed, Hunchback of Notre Dame. It whooped it 15-4. In the Sweet 16, it went up against the number 4 seed, Tarzan. Once again, whooped it 12-3. The Elite 8 was the first time it had a really strong competitor with the number 7 seed, Lilo and Stitch. And although it wasn't a tiebreaker like Emperor's New Groove, it was still a very close match, 10 votes to 8.
Well,
And that was also true of its Final Four matchup against the 2 seed from Class C, Aladdin. 14 votes to 11. Not a blowout, but still enough to make it to the finals. I legitimately have no idea how this is going to turn out, but the polls have been up for a while, and I just want to say, holy crap, the turnout so far.
I agree.
On Twitter alone, this matchup has more than 60 votes. The most
it's only the second day.
The most that we've gotten from any other matchup was 30, and that was Emperor's New Groove versus Beauty and the Beast.
How'd you get that many votes that fast?
I think it's because I literally tweeted, let's see if we can get this to 50 votes, and it happened by the time I went to bed.
I didn't even think you had 50 followers.
It was shared by people who have far more followers and far more outreach. Networking, that's the key.
Oh, I should share it on my out of context Game Grumps account.
Which
has 7,000 followers.
Do it.
Do it now.
Wait, post it in the Discord real quick, and then I'll do it.
Yeah.
before I forget.
Do it.
All right, so before we get into this debate, I actually want to set a little bit of time, just maybe a few minutes, to talk about the losers bracket, Aladdin versus Fantasia, because one of these has to go home with the bronze medal. But since that's not really the focus of this podcast, we're not going to dedicate too much time.
I voted Aladdin. It's pretty fun. It's one of my favorites. Fantasia's good, but Aladdin has a little bit more nostalgia value, and I kind of like the character arc enough to give it the pass. And I made the genie reference at the beginning, so I got that get.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on exactly the same wavelength as you, Wesley.
I also voted for Aladdin. As much as I really love Fantasia, Aladdin is definitely one of my top 3 favorites.
Yeah,
like in general, I just adore it.
Yeah, didn't you say last time that it was number 2 only to Lion King?
For my favorite
Disney,
animated films, animated Disney films, yes, it was.
Wow.
I haven't voted yet, but I think you guys can imagine how this song and dance goes, because I am an Aladdin stan until the end of time. And even though Fantasia, I was able to give it another chance by watching it the way it was intended and enjoying it for what it was. Aladdin, it's it's one of my childhood films. Like, how can I not?
Exactly.
I voted Fantasia. I see it as having like a bigger historical importance to Disney as a whole than Aladdin.
That's fair.
All right.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
And I can't beat the mouse. I'm a mouse simp.
Yeah.
Say,
I
Mickey
live the
Mouse.
Mickey. I breathe the Mickey. I smell the Mickey.
Well,
Who's your
I think
favorite
last,
Mickey
Smells
voice
like
actor?
yeah,
cheese.
I think last week has proven that llamas beat mice.
Who's your favorite Mickey voice actor?
Though I initially grew up with Wayne Alline, I have to say, even though it's kind of like on and off, I say Brett Iwan.
Okay.
I kind of go with
He's
either.
the one I actually grew up with most.
I kind of go with either Wayne Outline. The
I
guy
also
who
like the
did,
one in the Mickey Mouse short / DuckTales.
I love the one of Chris.
I think it's Diamantopolos.
Yeah, like him. Like the Mickey Mouse cartoons that he worked on, are probably my favorite version of Mickey Mouse.
I was surprised he was Darkwing Duck. I couldn't even tell at first.
And he was also Storkules.
Me neither. I'm really glad that he was the one that was passed on the torch of the voice of Darkwing.
He's got a lot of range.
Yeah. Jim Cummings, I think, is semi-retired now, so...
I really also
Mermaid
love...
Man.
I mean, I would mention something, but it's spoilers for DuckTales.
Spoilers.
Right.
I also really liked Walt Disney as Mickey Mouse, too. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah. Walt was also
All alone.
Walt was also the original voice of Minnie, if you can believe it.
Right.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, Charles Nash also voiced Daisy at one point.
Clarence Nash.
That worked. Clarence Nash, whatever. I was thinking of Mario at just then, so woohoo, let's go.
Mario really is the Mickey Mouse of video games, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why Mickey Mouse should join Smash Bros. Amen.
I will say this, for Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse, it's kind of sad when I got to hear his later versions of Mickey Mouse, in the 50s and maybe 60s, because Walt Disney was, smoking, 10 cigars before he probably did it, and it's really depressing to listen to.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah, when you hear it, I'm just forget the drug PSAs. I know thanks to this, never to smoke.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't always die from tobacco. It's like that commercial.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough about Mickey. He's out of this tournament. The llama defeated him.
You can never kill me. I am inevitable.
And I am Crunk.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
That's not very nice of you.
The Infinity Stones are all coming together.
All right, so let's get into the meat of this discussion. Final debate. Emperor's New Groove versus Lion King.
Oh
Go.
my gosh. I mean, where do we even begin? I think we're kind of beyond the point of discussing these films.
9 out of 10s for me, so it's about equal footing.
Like, discussing these films individually at this point, I feel is kind of, beyond. We're kind of beyond that. What we need to really figure out is, which do we prefer? Do we prefer the gravitas and dramatic nature of The Lion King, or do we prefer the feel-good, like, buddy adventure and zaniness of The Emperor's New Groove? It's because they're really two completely different films at the end of the day.
Right.
But both involve royalty.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see people starting to warm up to Emperor's New Groove as being sort of a stylistic break from Disney.
Yeah.
It's a new style. It's like Disney's New Groove. Wait.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute.
On the subject of big cats, my own little kitty just came up to join me.
Aww.
Yay, special guest.
Yeah, he's my special guest.
Right.
So, the closest Disney film I can think of when it comes to like matching the zaniness of Emperor's New Groove humor is not even really a Disney film technically. In recent memory, Toy Story 4, I felt got really close to that kind of humor, especially with the Key and Peele scenes.
Really?
Yeah, Ducky and Bunny are always my favorite characters in that movie.
But other than that, I can't think of another film that quite gets to the same level of just absurdity as The Emperor's New Groove under the Disney name. Because, when it comes to animated movies, I could think of The Sponge Out of Water. That's always my go-to when it comes to absurdist comedy.
Right.
Which one do you like more? Do you like the first or the second SpongeBob movie more?
I'm partial towards the second one because it's funnier.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, even though I grew up with the first one. And I also, I feel it uses the characters a little bit better, too, because the first one just kind of has SpongeBob and Patrick.
I cried like a bitch at the first one.
Dude.
Yeah, the drying rat scene, oh my gosh.
I didn't cry because I didn't really understand mortality as a kid, so that scene meant nothing to me. But anyway, when you think about it, there are some similarities between The Emperor's New Groove and The Lion King when you dig deep into it, because both of the protagonists go through wildly different, wildly dramatic character arcs in their films, to the point where they develop emotionally and also physically too. In the case of The Lion King, he starts off as a cub, and he's all childish and brash and stuff. But by the end, he's not only is he completely different and matured, but we also see that physically. And then with The Emperor's New Groove, it's funny how he has to become an animal to learn to be more human. So,
it's like Brother Bear, but done 3 years earlier and much more funnily.
Funnily. Is that a word?
It is a word.
Yeah, funnel.
Funnel. Yeah, my funnily cake. And
it's kind of have layers.
Kind of like the same irony behind BoJack Horseman, where despite all most of the characters being animals, they're super complex and act very human. And in the case of Emperor's New Groove, he had to become an animal to be human, on the inside.
Right.
Whoa, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
So deep I could probably throw a brick and it'd sink.
Yeah, and then you also have the ideal of the villainy role, and how we had Yzma, who's trying to convince about the power switch, and how she's just all as animated and fun as Cusco, but doesn't really go to the same arc. And she just goes the opposite direction for the power-hungry, greedy stuff. And then she has an accomplice, Kronk, who isn't really evil at all. He's a genuine, well-meaning, nice guy. And he does turn around at the end. So it's funny to see him do nice while being evil and stuff.
Yeah.
The classic, the dynamic of, really evil, tiny person with their big, lovable henchmen. They're kind of like Flushed Away, I guess you could say, with those two mice villains.
Like in Whitey, yeah.
Yeah, they have a similar feel about them. Quick to the Ratmobile,
dude.
Yeah, I gotta see Flushed Away again at some point because I always
movie's entirely the sewer. And there's only one poop joke that took restraint.
Yeah, like that is a really funny movie.
Yeah,
good for Aardman.
Yep, but yeah, I did think that I did like Emperor's New Groove, but at the same time, it's Lion King, guys. It's something so monolithic. The influence, the idea of this film, it's just so big and bearing that no matter what wins or what you feel about this, it's kind of a monolith. Think of it sort of like Star Wars, or where no matter how you feel about the movie, it's just part of the culture. So it's not necessarily that it's immune to criticism, but you get what it's for and how it represents the ideas of what Disney means. So yeah.
And they both have James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And I guess with Emperor's New Groove, it's a bit more of a niche audience. Because I could, if you might show this to somebody, and if it's not their type of humor, then it's probably not going to be for them. Whereas with Lion King, I feel like that storytelling is a bit more universal. Yeah. Because you have to, if you don't like SpongeBob, you're probably not going to like Emperor's New Groove.
Right. And that might have been why Emperor's New Groove was a tougher sell at the box office.
Yeah. It's funny though, like, because the Lion King and SpongeBob, they're like the ultimate two big things I love the most in animation. Like my big things. But if I were to choose, I personally would go for the Lion King over the Emperor's New Groove. I'll tell you all. Come close. It's a secret. Listening?
Yeah.
Listening? Yeah. Sante Sana squash banana wave
No, not that.
No,
bonk him in the head with the stick.
Have you ever seen the YouTube poop, the Lingo Kingo?
I think I was it from.
Please send a link. I want to check that out later.
And like when it gets to that scene, he just bashes him in the head repeatedly. It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Oh yeah.
Wait, isn't this the same guy who did the Toy series?
I think so.
Probably.
Those are great.
Son, I'm very brave, but Dad, you're not.
You're dead.
But like, I love The Emperor's New Groove. It's definitely a really funny film. It's especially in my top 10 favorites. The Lion King, though, there's no way I can vote anything over The Lion King on this one. But when you really think about it, Lion King was Disney's first ever original film. All the Disney films that
I'm kidding.
Yeah, you better be.
We kind of discredited that a long time ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and your movie sucks. Put that to bed. You should all check that 2.5 hour video out. By the way,
it's also not really Hamlet either. I mean, Simba doesn't have a moody scene. He doesn't try to expose Scar first before the killing, and unlike Hamlet, he wins.
Yeah, it's really as bare bones Hamlet as you can get.
I think it's closer to an actual African legend, the Epic of Sundiata, about a king whose dad is overthrown by a jealous uncle and is forced in exile and comes back with an army.
But with it's still like its own original thing, even though it also has the elements of Bible stories like Joseph and Moses. Joseph and Moses, like it's still its own thing. Like, especially like The Emperor's New Groove, like it's a fun comedy, but I can understand why it wouldn't be for like everybody. The Lion King, in my opinion, has things that are like for everybody. It has drama. It has really great wholesome heart in it. It has hilarious comedy. It has great animation. It has great songs. But I like to Elton John and Tim Rice. A great score by Hans Zimmer. a great feeling of African culture. Like this whole time, you just feel like you're in Africa. So this whole thing, the scope of it is just huge.
Yeah,
like the different shots they show of Africa, like it's a place that I really wish I could go to Africa simply because of seeing this movie.
Right, and again, no humans at all in this movie. Even Bambi had man off screen, but this one could be set in the past or the future, and you wouldn't know because it's all animals doing animal things and living as animals. They even get the food chain down.
People seem to like
It's the year 2021.
People seem to like to forget that not only does Kimba have a bunch of human characters, but its moral is like completely the opposite of the Lion King's moral. Yeah. It's like everyone should be vegetarian in Kimba's world, is what he says.
Yeah. Okay, is it me, or does Kimba kind of sound like it's a cult?
Well, I mean, and also people say that Simba became vegetarian when he like lived with Timon and Pumbaa, but Bug is meat.
Bugs are meat.
Like I don't know
humans who live off of insects.
Someone post that Incredibles 2 meme with Mr. Incredibles going, "Bugs are meat."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
how can you change meat?
So Kimba, though the Tezuka run of Kimba is pretty good too. But Kimba's all kinds of messed up and weird. And it's also a different type of storytelling, Japanese versus Western.
And me and my friends love bringing up the elephant genocide scene because of how over the top it is.
Holy crap! When I saw that,
elephant genocide, what now?
Yeah, there's a scene from the original Kimba series where the humans come to the conclusion that they need to exterminate all the bad elephants, so they get a bunch of Panzer tanks and like blow up the side of a mountain and crush all the elephants under it.
That wouldn't happen if Babar was king.
It's so violent.
You know what? I'd love to see that, but with Babar leading the charge, so it's just humans and Panzer tanks versus King of the Elephants.
I remember Babar as a kid.
Babar is badass.
You resurrected some odd memories, but
I don't. The only thing I remember of it is him like eating an apple in the middle of the road.
How to walk on two legs after living in a human society.
Oh my gosh!
And then he taught other elephants to walk like that. If that isn't impressive, I don't know what is.
Better.
Kimba does that too in the manga. He like stands on all twos and wears overalls.
Mickey Mouse pants.
Yeah.
I also remember from Kimba, there's this weird scene where Kimba asks this flying tiger, says, "And besides, why do you have wings?" I'm like, "And besides?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, that would be my first question."
And then the tiger responds, "Why does anyone have wings?"
Because they all drink Red Bull.
All the villains in old Japanese cartoons, they all talk like that, like "Oh wow, yeah," like they're holding their nose, like he's going over that cliff. Ah! And okay, so you bring up many good points about The Lion King, like how important it is, how the drama is timeless. Simba goes through an amazing arc. All of the side characters are enjoyable and serve their purpose expertly. The pacing is perfect, like most Renaissance Disney films. The songs are forever hummable. Scar is awesome. Mufasa is awesome. But can The Lion King do this?
What does that have to do with...
I know. He's not point.
That, by the way, I was doing a handstand for those of you who couldn't see.
I'll take your word for it.
Ooh, impressive!
At the same time, though, I still gotta go with The Lion King, though. Mostly because, like, I'm just amazed on how much the impact it not only had on Disney, but it also had on me, especially. Like, I also want to speak up for the female characters, like Nala and Sarabi, because I think they're really good characters too.
Yeah, I mean, Sarabi, like, even though she doesn't have many lines, like, I still like remember how like badass and stoked she was, like when she was, walking around like near the hyenas, like she wasn't even fazed by them. Like, oh man, she's awesome. And then,
Yeah, they really did their research with African ecosystems. They had hyenas as scavengers taking the lion stuff. They had the correct displays of lions with their prey. They got right that warthogs and meerkats are both insectivores.
by the way, that's something I keep forgetting to ask this, but and this is probably going to be my last chance since this is the last time we're talking about Lion King. But so is that a thing in real life where, like, with prides, there's only like one or two guys and the rest are all females?
Yep. Pretty much.
Where do all the guys go?
They form their own prides. They go off and rest on their own and do things with their own ones. And they can take over a pride by facing the male in combat. And then when they do, they kill all the cubs of the other lion.
Oh my god!
2 male lions going off on their own. Oh my god! Is that why they're called prides?
Yeah,
but I'm like, but it's Disney. I don't think they're really going to go that far with it.
Yeah,
because like my question,
Disney, the parent killers.
So yeah, that's my question. Does Nala just have a dad who is like off doing his own thing?
Well, in a normal pride, Simba and Nala would be half siblings. But I think we can give Disney the benefit of the doubt.
But let's not talk about that.
Right.
I also really like Nala. Like I like how she grew up like almost as mischievous as Simba. While Simba was growing up with Timon and Pumbaa, Nala grew up to be more responsible in her own way, and she went to go find help.
Yeah.
A nice contrast between the two.
And
right.
It's really cool because at that point the whole story is basically from Simba's perspective. So when she appears, like in the jungle to attacking Timon and Pumbaa, and Simba comes to help them, we are just as surprised as he is that is Nala coming back from his childhood, and so we feel that impact just as much as him. Like, oh my gosh, it's her, our childhood friend, and because of that, we are just as excited as him to see them back together again because we saw how good of friends they were.
Right.
Yeah, like
and another thing about lions that could be kind of funny if you think of this movie: lions sleep 18 to 20 hours out of the day.
Oh yeah. So
this is probably the only action they get all day.
Hakuna Matata.
Yep.
I like that there's nuance there. Like, they don't say that Hakuna Matata is bad at the end. Like, just like sometimes Hakuna Matata is for the best.
Yeah, that's why I like too. And I also like that even though the story is from Simba's perspective, it's still a really good character-based movie. Like, every character gets like the appropriate amount of screen time.
Yeah, Zazu serves his purpose well in during Simba's childhood, but Rafiki serves his purpose extremely well during Simba's adulthood. All those characters have their standout moments. Like, what's the name of the pit like that they put Zazu in?
The Birdie Boil.
Oh yeah, that's not the burning boil. Then he like flies off like a Looney Tunes character.
Not the Bernie Boil, it's the Birdie Boil.
The Birdie Boil. Oh, Birdie Boil.
Yeah.
I guess burning boil would be redundant now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure, by the way, which film to go with. I haven't been swayed one way or the other.
I think what I also love about the Lion King is its great use of colors. If I were to choose like the Disney films that were the most colorful, like in a row, like it was like with Aladdin, The Lion King, and Pocahontas, all the films had great colors.
Yeah, I
like,
definitely do think Lion King is probably the best looking Disney movie. It just pops out at you and it uses the digital coloring to its advantage really well.
And when they're like in a background that's like shaded in red, they look red and they still like have their original colors. Whenever they're under a blue light sky or in like a patch of leaves, when they look a bit of green, they still have their original colors, but they always pop. It always stands out. The Emperor's New Groove has good colors, but The Lion King, it really just stands out beautifully. Just making Africa look good, making characters look good.
Honestly, I think Hercules gives it a run for its money, in my opinion.
Yeah, I will say that. Like,
Lion King arguably perfects the Cap's digital technology that was started all the way back with Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah. There's a very noticeable difference between The Little Mermaid and Rescuers Down Under, because even though Little Mermaid is timeless, they didn't have that digital coloring back then. So my mom and I watched The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under back to back because she remembered seeing The Rescuers as a kid in theaters, and so she wanted to see both of them with me. And I remember being like, "Oh my gosh, this glow up is insane!" because I thought because The Rescuers I still think is one of the ugliest Disney films.
Yeah.
what did your mom think?
Oh, she loved it. Like, she thinks Penny is like one of her favorite Disney characters because she's so adorable.
What did you think of the sequel?
She thought it was good too. Although she was upset that there wasn't a scene where the kid like reunited with his mom. Like, they just kind of left. Like, his mom just thinks that her son is dead, and we never get a resolution to that.
Oh my God, that's true. I never thought of that.
A good reversal of the typical Disney norm.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's a good thing though.
Lion King
Who said it was a good thing?
into the National Film Registry in 2016. They have that for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. I'd say it earned that place in the big vaults with all of them. Cultural, helped Disney and made them back on the powerhouse. Is still the highest grossing 2D animated film. Historical, it's the crown jewel of Disney's renaissance. I think adjusted for inflation, their highest grossing. Well, maybe Snow White just barely edges it out, but but Lion King would still make over $1 billion in today's money. And aesthetically, we talked about the caps, so check.
Yeah, I don't think Emperor's New Groove is going to be getting into that registry anytime soon.
I submitted it. You can go on their website and submit your own ballot. It's open to the public. You can pick up to 50, and I submitted it.
Oh wow!
I don't know if they take memes into account. Do they?
They kind of do. They had an abstract documentary about 13 lakes get in one time. Makes sense in context.
Another fun thing I love about the Lion King is just how good they make the food look in that movie. Whether it be like that big melon that Rafiki crafts in the Sort of Life, and when he finds out Simba's alive.
Oh yeah.
Right down to that bit.
Oh, the little cream-filled kind, my favorite.
Yeah, the buds especially look good. Like it looks like you could actually like eat that stuff. And even down to that big zebra leg that the hyenas were eating. Like it looks like from the way they're eating, it looks like I want a piece of that too.
We're fresh out of zebra.
Yeah. Any antelope?
Nuh-uh.
Poe?
Nope. How would you guys react if every time I said a word that ends with P, I was just like, "Hey, what's up?" Would you guys? Would our friendship be over?
Would our friendship be over?
Yeah, would it be over?
What friendship are you even talking about?
Our friendship.
We were never friends.
No.
And one more thing. I never liked your spinach puffs. Never.
Oh, you're going down. I'm through messing around. See you later, fools.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so
that he
we
shall
all
smite the wicked and plunge them into the fiery pit.
So we all know that basically almost every single person in Lion King is a celebrity of some kind. You know, like Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Rowan Atkinson, the whole shebang. What is Moira Kelly known for other than Lion King?
Who?
Moira, the person who voices Nala. Yeah, see, exactly.
Oh, I just didn't hear it first. Like Mariah Kelly. I think she's
Moira.
Moira?
Is
Mariah.
Irish name.
Mariah.
Oh, it's pronounced Mariah.
She's Karen Rowe on the teen drama One Tree Hill. She was Donna in the Twin Peaks movie. And that's about it.
Cool. I didn't. Well, I'm glad I asked that because I've been pronouncing it Moira this whole time.
Yeah, Moira. That's the Irish name.
So I'm supposed to pronounce it Mariah.
No, it's Moira. Trust Irish.
Moira. Okay, so it is Moira.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Okay.
the first film she was credited for is called The Boy Who Cried Bitch.
Man,
It's funny because it says bitch.
Exactly.
What an Oscar-worthy iconic portrayal.
It was an indie film from '91.
But yeah, again, I think Twin Peaks movie would be probably her next best known thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently Robert Guillaume, am I saying that right? Guillaume?
Guillaume.
I think it's Robert Guillaume.
Guillaume?
Guillaume.
Guillaume. Okay, he's also in Guys and Dolls, much like Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabella.
Yeah, I remember hearing the Guys and Dolls recording when I was really young, and I heard Nathan Lane's point Detroit, and I was like, "Oh, hey, it's Timon."
I know that voice.
Yeah, funny thing about Guys and Dolls, like Nathan Lane was actually known as John Lane, but when
yeah, that's right.
when he played Nathan Detroit on Guys and Dolls, he decided to change his name to Nathan Lane.
Cool.
Forgot about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we remember. So we talked about how, with the remake, the only person they got back was James Earl Jones, even though most of the other cast members are still, working today, and how it's kind of insulting that they considered him to be the only person not worth replacing.
Iron said he was gay.
Well, okay, I have a bit of a conspiracy theory as to why he was the only one, and you guys can feel free to call me out if you think I'm just being stupid, but I think the only person they got back was James Earl Jones is because they wanted to, boast and brag about how diverse and their cast was. I think they wanted to get as many African American actors as possible, with the exception of Timon and Pumbaa.
But then it wouldn't be diverse if it was all one race, now would it?
Yeah, well, see, that's my pet peeve whenever people on Twitter are like, "Oh man, I love Black Panther. It was so diverse." And I was like, there were only 2 white guys in it. What are you talking about?
I heard that with Scar, that Jeremy Irons actually said he would have played Scar again if they asked him, but they didn't even bother asking him.
Yikes.
That's another thing I have with the Powerpuff Girls remake and Scoob. The original actors themselves publicly said that they were hurt that they didn't even bother to go ask them and say, "Hey, you want to play these characters again?" They did. They just totally went behind their backs.
Again, Fred Welker was in Scoob. They could have just.
So weird. It's at least with Sonic the Hedgehog, Roger Craig Smith kind of gave Ben Schwartz his blessings.
I'm pretty sure there's a picture of the two together, doing the Spider-Man point pose.
Nice.
There is?
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's sweet.
And plus, Sonic the Hedgehog has had so many voice actors over the years that it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
Whereas with Fred, he's been voiced by one guy for 60 years.
Hearing him in Scoob is so really doesn't sit well with me because I'm so used to him sounding like Frank Welker, and he's been voicing him ever since 1969.
Yeah, I think he's the only voice of Fred.
I'm pretty sure Frank Welker only voiced Fred from the beginning.
With the exception of a pup named Scooby-Doo, where he was voiced by a kid.
Oh yeah, that's right. The only adult voice of Fred.
Yeah.
No, they should have gotten Fred Welker for Pup Named Scooby-Doo, but just have him use his normal Fred voice.
Oh, that would be so weird.
I actually rewatched A Pup Named Scooby-Doo earlier this year, and I was surprised on how really funny it was.
Well, I say
Red
that.
Herring is best character.
Yeah, Scott Menville. I say that, but then again, Japan has Grandma Goku been voicing Goku for the past 30 years, even though she doesn't sound like a man at all. The Japanese dub, I mean. I see the picture, by the way, Ouija. Very nice.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's very nice.
At one point, I was thinking of a funny like gag cameo of like of Robotnik like showing up in the second movie, and like one person just says, "Geez, that guy is crazy," and it's
What?
Is the cue cutting
Was that?
like a casting gag of the current voice of Eggman commenting on movie Eggman saying he's crazy.
Oh, Mike Pollock.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Or like a scine where they're going to a casino and all the previous voices of Sonic are playing blackjack together.
They get Julia White,
Ryan Drummond,
Jason Griffith. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Okay, so
and like Sonic shows up at the table and they all just look at him and he's like, "Hi."
All right, so we are talking about Emperor's New Groove and Lion King tonight.
Boom, baby.
Okay. After hearing everything, I'm trying to piece it all together. I think I'm gonna be devil's advocate and vote for Emperor's New Groove. Because even though like you everything you guys said is absolutely right, Lion King is like the magnum opus of Disney. It's like the best like storytelling you can possibly ask for. And just something about Emperor's New Groove, man. I just can't like turn my attention away from it. It's become a part of me at this point, and
mind if I give an analogy? It's kind of like Aerosmith's big hits. Dream On and Walk This Way are the ones that people know and kind of respect as being good. But then the wild card is Sweet Emotion. Not everyone likes Sweet Emotion as much, but those who like it really do love it.
Call me a hipster if you will. I don't care. That is just what my heart says, and I must listen to it. I'm going to vote for Emperor's New Groove, and I will eat chips on camera if it wins.
Wow.
All right.
I will eat some chips.
Yeah.
that is my promise.
Yeah. I'm listening to my heart right now. It's saying I should not have had that burger tonight.
You're having heart palpitations?
Minor. It'll go away. Yeah. I think ultimately, for me, it comes down to, which one is more, I guess, culturally relevant. I don't know if that would be the right word.
More
culturally impactful.
What people? Okay, yeah.
And for that, my vote does go to Lion King, and it only came down to that because I like these movies pretty much exactly the same.
I see. It's not like sort of like a toss-up between what you wanted to win versus what you thought should have won.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
also, I predicted that Lion King would win from the beginning, and I kind of want to see that happen.
Same here, actually.
Here's the thing. I also think Lion King deserves to win, but I just can't. I gotta be that guy in this case, because it's like if you like, because Lion King is great, but like I don't see that doesn't make Beauty and the Beast any less worthy of winning or Mulan any less worthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm actually genuinely curious. Would the Lion King have beaten any of those other movies if it fought them like early on?
I have faith that it would have.
I think it would have. At the very least, it would have put up a very strong fight.
Yeah.
In fact,
Groove is like 97 Arizona, where it played 3 of the 4 1 seeds. The way the tournament is structured, you can't play all 4, but it played 3 of them.
That's true.
But I guess in the case of the Lion King, it's just a bit too culturally significant. Like even when compared to its other contemporaries from that same era, because like there's a reason it beat Aladdin. Even though both films are regarded around the same caliber, it's
and came out back to back.
Yeah, and like they both had remakes very recently. It just Lion King is just that much more in the public conscience.
Okay.
Like another fun fact to learn about the Lion King is that Gregory Peck, the man who played Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, actually said the Lion King is like one of his favorite movies, if not his absolute favorite.
Wow,
that's some high praise.
He was a pretty big news in that. Way back in the day, he petitioned Jungle Book to get a Best Picture nomination.
Really?
Didn't right.
Of all the films he could have petitioned, he petitioned Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Well, all right, to each his own, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, so to have him talk about Lion King again just shows how his Disney fandom didn't wane.
True.
Man.
Yeah, I kind of feel what you were saying, Carrick, about how it might be like too culturally impactful. And honestly,
well, I'm not saying that as a detriment. I'm just saying that in this case that I'm speaking about the Emperor's New Groove's like chances.
Okay.
Of winning.
Oh, by the way,
compared to beating
has the fastest franchise EGOT. In just 4 years, it won an Oscar, Emmy, Grammy, Tony.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Man, that's something.
It won the Oscar and the Grammy for the music, same stuff. It won the Emmy for Timon and Pumbaa with Nathan Lane doing the voice of Timon. And then 98, it opened on Broadway and took home all the awards.
Wow.
I swear, these Oscar films, like, they only ever give the Oscar to animated films, like, for Best Song or Best Animated Feature. They totally just invented that slot so they didn't have to nominate another film like Beauty and the Beast.
The first animated film to win competitively was Pinocchio, and it was for Best Song.
The Oscars is another story for
Aladdin has an EGOT too, but Lion King was the superior EGOT.
I mean, even after adding that category, we've still had a couple Best Picture nominees animated. Both Pixar though.
Yeah.
And I still think Inside Out should have gotten a Best Picture nomination.
I was thinking I was hoping that Inside Out would not only get a nomination, but I was kind of hoping that it would actually win.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
I thought Zootopia had an outside chance for its year as well. It seemed like the exact kind of movie the Academy likes, and if it were live action, if it were live action, it would have probably cleaned house.
I feel bad for Anomalisa though. Like that director poured his heart and soul into that stop motion film, and nobody cared about it when it came out.
Right.
Stop motion is dead. How is Leica still making money?
Because their guy Trevor Knight, he's the son of Phil Knight, the CEO of Nike.
Wow.
Well, good for them. Keep making creepy stop motion films to traumatize our children.
Yeah, when it comes to making movies, I hope they just do it.
Yep.
Just do it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I just got what you said.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, you know what should have won an Oscar? That minute-long stop-motion guacamole short.
Dude, that is one of the most it is one of the most satisfying animated shorts I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly.
Yeah, me and Mom. There's some that me and Mom always do. Starting back in 2012, I think. We always attend the Anime Short Film Festival, like the ones who got nominated for an Oscar, and we always our vote to see which one we think should win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they sometimes show a few other shorts, and some of the shorts that they showed have gone on to be some of my favorite pieces in animation.
Yeah.
Is Fresh Guacamole one of them?
Yeah, that was a great short that me and Mom remember seeing.
Nice Piper. That one was pretty neat. Pretty cute.
I think my favorite part of that short is the ending where the chip breaks in the guacamole.
Oh, that is so good.
It's a nice subtle
garnish with a poker chip.
Like that's pure ASMR right there.
Right, ASMR kind of works on me, but not to the extent they say. But that short was pretty nice creative.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the cleaning scene from Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or the first time Remy makes a dish inside Gusteau's kitchen.
Yeah.
I guess-
Great thing about the cleaner scene from Toy Story 2 was on like the soundtrack for Toy Story Midway Mania, I think what it was called, was made into like a jazzy theme, and like fits too because the cleaner theme was such an iconic piece of music from Toy Story 2.
Right. A key thing to look for is repetitive sound and motion.
Yeah.
It's just like new.
Ba-da-da.
This is called transition, kids.
Yeah.
It's called subtlety. What's that? What's that? No, but it's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ouija, what's your vote?
Ouija, we didn't hear from you. Are you still there?
What? Who is that? What year is it?
Are you alive?
Gee.
We haven't heard from you. We went
I'm
on
okay.
for about an hour about Lion King.
I vote for Emperor's New Groove. Praise Cusco.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
All right.
You're ready for the meme I got.
Praise Cusco.
If Lion King wins, there will be rejoicing and head nods about winning. If Emperor's New Groove wins, we're in it for the meme. It's a win-win.
Yes.
We're gonna set this entire world on fire.
The Emperor's New Groove should win because it's the biggest joke win of them all.
It's the equivalent of Kanye West becoming president.
Don't
Which,
have
but one of the
the first
things,
president to have written the #1 hit. So
but here's the thing: the Emperor's New Groove winning is a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would vote. I would vote for JFK. If he would.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
My abs are cheese grater.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
I'm glad I gave Clone High another shot.
Me too. Is just classic Lord and Miller humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta know some stuff to get to do
Okay.
it.
Well, I think no matter what happens, I think this tournament has definitively proven that Cusco is, in fact, the best Disney princess.
Yeah.
Without question. Because Simba
yeah.
doesn't count because he becomes a king at the end.
Right.
No, what about Star? I think Star's the best Disney princess.
He does have sensational moves.
Oh, yeah.
He does have animals following him.
I said sensational moves because it sounds like sensational news.
Yeah.
Trying to think, and he does have magic hair.
Oh, he has the magic hair.
And he has animal sidekicks.
Like
Yeah.
Rapunzel, you have some stiff competition with Star's hairy locks.
Yeah.
So is that a thing? And another thing in Prides that there are two males?
There
Or-
can be two.
So like if they're brothers,
Yeah, if they're brothers.
or like if one of the other females had a son, like does the son just like have to go off on his own, fend for himself?
Kinda, sorta, yeah. They can inherit a pride if they fight for it and then kill all the other guys' cubs.
Man, lion royalty. It's almost
Yeah,
as messed up as messed up as French royalty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just as much inbreeding. But also yeah, it's been a while since I watched an actual nature documentary, but it's clear that the people who made The Lion King did their research.
There's got to be a documentary out there narrated by James Earl Jones. Like
Right,
that seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but they used actual lions for reference. They had visits to Africa touring it. Although the geography's kind of weird. They sing in Swahili. They have the shot of Kilimanjaro. Then they have the jungles of the Congo and the traditional Sahara and the Kalahari, which is in West Africa, just on the other side of Kilimanjaro. Maybe they just wanted it to be generic Africa.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want anybody making assumptions.
Maybe it's because they wanted to show Kilimanjaro in the distance, I guess.
So they could take more liberties. Oh, by the way, have you guys seen this meme?
Yeah. But I'm also
I like your cut, G.
Yeah. Also, Toto lied. Kilimanjaro is 100 miles north of the Serengeti.
Man, Africa's like one of 2 good songs Toto has.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh no! Take on me, guy. He's the guy who does Simba's voice, right? Like singing voice.
I think
right?
so.
Really?
And then I think right? Am I right?
So I'm Joseph A. Williams, I think.
No, it's not him.
Oh.
I know in the sequel it was Leonardo, which I thought was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Clark.
I keep forgetting what
Who knew a Ninja Turtle could carry a tune?
he. No, he's in Toto. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, it all comes full circle. The singer for Simba sang Africa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that's a circle if I've ever seen one.
You never knew.
That's the circle of life.
Yeah. My mind is officially blown.
That's a good Red versus Blue joke, by the way, where like they think they time travel. It's like, oh man, we completely messed up the timeline, and then Caboose is like, no, I think it's a circle. Time is obviously made of circles. That's why clocks are round.
That's actually pretty sound logic.
That is actually pretty sound logic, after all.
Time is a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
He's like basically the savant of that world. I can't really think of anything to add. I feel like we've sucked both of these films dry.
I mean, we've been with them for 5 rounds now. Emperor's New Groove was the second film we discussed on the first episode when it was just Nick and I.
That's true.
At this point, my main question is, what are we going to do for our next podcast where we announce the winner?
I've thought of that.
I say we should reenact Phantasmic.
Actually, no. Yoda Jax thought of it, and I agreed with it. Tell him.
Oh,
Yoda.
yeah, our top 10 favorite films. Disney films.
I'd have to determine an order. It's going to look really weird. And again, the votes wouldn't have determined my overall top 10.
I already have my list ready. Spoiler alert, they're all prunes.
Spoiler alert, they're all Lion King. Number 10,
They're all
Lion
the
King.
Black Cauldron.
Number 9, Lion King.
Okay. I already have my.
10,
I already have
the
my
Black
top
Cauldron.
10. Spoilers for
Number
the list.
9,
It's number
Gurgi from the Black Cauldron.
Number 5, Emperor's New Groove. Number 4, Emperor's New Groove. 3, Emperor's New Groove. 2, Emperor's New Groove. 1, Zootopia.
Oh, by all means, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Number 15,
No, but I do
the
actually
Black
have.
Cauldron, the last thing you want in your Disney movie list.
Is a black cauldron filled with the powers of necromancy.
I actually do have my top 10
And the
planned out. Like,
Gurgi.
I've had it planned for months, so I'm going to reveal it next week. I'm not going to elaborate too much because I'm planning an entirely separate video for that.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to get too in-depth in my list as well, because that's something that I might do in the future.
I'm going to withhold my hand too, but also note that the list itself will be very fluid.
Oh, how is this going to go? Are one of us going to list them? He does number 10, then he does number 10, he does number 10, like that?
I think that makes the most
guess.
sense.
That works.
That way everyone gets a chance and it doesn't feel too lopsided.
Yeah, maybe talk about whether we agree or disagree with those placements or those films.
Should we include honorable mentions?
Sure.
Because I feel like if we do, then we could just have as many as we want, and it could go on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have 48 honorable mentions.